Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Regular contributor here on The Price of Business. He was on with Damon John from Shark Tank. He was on the same show as Damon John from Shark Tank just recently on the Biz TV network. He's on today. He's a really an interesting guy who does phenomenal work in the defense law space, and we're delighted to have him as a contributor. Chris Corso, and I really always look forward to it. He always brings some important insight to our conversation. His website, by the way, CorsoLawGroup.com. Chris, great topic for us today. You know, people are always looking forward to spring break. Well, I say people, I should be more narrow in my choice of words. Young people, in particular, seem really excited about spring break. And you know, and it's great to be able to have an opportunity to cut loose and get over your midterms. But you know, it's also a pretty dangerous time. Talk a little bit about that.
It is, and thanks for the kind words. Good to be here. Hey, Kevin, I thought maybe you were into it too. You were going to be going down to these places, but anyway.
No, probably not. I'll avoid them like the plague.
I think those days passed me by too. So, yeah, I mean, it is. It's deadly. It's dangerous. You know, you're talking about the ages. Honestly, you know, you got about 2.5 million college students between 17 and 24 that drink and drive annually. So now you take a lot of these kids, put them in one spot, and let loose, like you say. There's a lot of DWIs happening out there, and a lot of enforcement. You know, they up the enforcement for these particular situations, spring break, St. Patrick's Day, and things like that. So they're out there and they're enforced. But there's a lot of drinking going on with these kids, even under 21.
How big is it during spring break? Do you have any numbers on that?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, you know, like I say, during spring break, you have there were 1,300 DWI arrests in 2014. You know, during spring break, and you got 700 felony arrests, 23,000 tickets given out in 2015. This is from Arizona Public Safety, Department of Public Safety. Texas. You know, there's just a ton of it, and you know, the kids. They talked about a staggering number to me that the average female will drink 10 drinks a day during a spring break day, and the guys will drink 18 drinks. I mean, I can't even imagine on my best day back then drinking that much. So you can imagine what's happening. But yeah, they're handing out a lot of DWIs right now, or during this period of time from the 4th on.
Yeah. And it seems like spring break is earlier this year for some reason. I was on a plane back from Washington, D.C. for a conference I attended that I covered for our TV program, and met a lot of kids at the airport and such, and they were all, spring break. It's like, really? So it seems like it's fallen early for some around this year, and they go all over the country to celebrate it, some coming to Texas.
They do now, yeah. I mean, I'm sure you didn't get much sleep on that plane, but they... Yeah, they're everywhere. They come out to Arizona. They go to Texas. They're everywhere. I mean, it's every place has made it kind of fun now. Now, the Cancun isn't the only destination now. When I was in college, that was the place. But yeah, you're talking anywhere. It just goes. You can track it by what the law enforcement is doing. I mean, from March 4th through March 22nd, they're going to be out in force. More DWI, points, checkpoints, where they're going to be stopping people, and there's no refusal during this time too. So, I'll tell you, a lot of my experience. The other thing is, it's so common now. DWIs, over 90%, honestly, of the clients I've come across know somebody else that has a DWI.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know a couple myself, and so fortunately, it's been years. What's that?
They're usually young kids too.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, it's funny you should say that. It's been several years since they've had them, but when they were obviously young adults is when they had them, and so it's interesting. So, what kind of initiatives are being take place out there by various governments to deal with this?
Well, like I say, I mean, they're increasing they're putting more manpower on in the departments. They're creating a lot of details where, the officers will take a separate shift to just do DWI enforcement, checkpoints, and things like that. And you're bringing law enforcement from different areas of the department just to do this, which means there's a lot of shoddy DWI investigations being done too. Because you're getting officers and people that don't normally do these things. So the need to have somebody after the fact taking a look at this is real important.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's pretty interesting numbers, though. According to the Texas Department of Public Safety, a person killed every 46 minutes on St. Patrick's Day to an alcohol-related crash. And it's funny because, a lot of us kind of look at it as a small holiday, but it's actually, may not be prominently practiced by many, but by a large, minority, it's huge.
It is. It is huge. And like I say, it falls on during a time where the partying is happening anyway. You're getting, like you say, you're getting these kids that, for college anyway, that are coming up on their break and, trying to let loose, and you get those people, and then you have the older people that are just celebrating on holiday to begin with. So it is huge. It's everywhere. And in my experience, being in Arizona and Texas, those are two places that it seems to be real prevalent.
Yeah. Real quickly, kind of give us your, thoughts on what people should be doing, to take better care of themselves when it comes to this, beyond the obvious of a designated driver and those type of things.
There's a lot of information online. I have it on my website, too, about the signs, what to look to. The biggest problem with DWI is you don't know where you are. You don't know what level. And, okay, you can say, well, just if you have a drink, don't get behind the wheel. Like you say, that's the obvious thing, okay? But know your levels, understand your body, and you can go online, you can read some things that talk about how much you can take in and not, and not be impaired or affected or what your level will be. That's one of the problems. People just don't understand it, and so you can educate yourself that way. And as you say, just stay off the road. And you should be fine. And they have a lot of places have a lot of transportation for you now that'll take you places. So, that's the best way to handle it. But educate yourself. Call somebody. Call a lawyer before the fact.
Yeah. Sounds like good advice. Chris Corso, 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 lawgroup.com. CorsoLawGroup.com. Offices here in Houston as well as Arizona. Thanks so much for being with us, sir.
Thank you, Kevin. It's always a pleasure.
You bet. I want to encourage people, by the way, this content, this interview, as well as information about it, will be over at usdailyreview.com very soon, very timely. Make sure you check that out. When we come back, we're going to have much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here is found over there at US Daily Review. While they are, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter.